Welcome to the ultimate core workout program with me. This is a unique program because what we're focusing on here is to start targeting certain abdominal muscles, and there's a lot. We have the obliques, both internal and external. We also have the rectus abdominis, and we also have the transverse abdominis. And all of them have different components to it. For example, with the transverse abdominis, you have the lower transverse abs. You also have the upper transverse abs. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do some muscle activations that target each of these different muscles as best as we can. So that way, when you go back out into the world, you're going to go back out with more stability, more range of motion. There's so much emphasis placed on flexibility in the world today. Every video you turn on is all about how to increase flexibility, and there's a lot of hacks to do with that. And the interesting thing is a lot of the hacks involve certain muscle activation techniques, but then the practitioner or the teacher teaches us to go passively into those poses. Anytime we passively go into a pose, we're going to start to shut muscles off. So for example, like if I'm sitting here and I start to reach forward and bring my forehead down, I'm passively dropping into that pose. What happens is that all these core muscles are actually passively contracting, and as soon as they do that, the brain to muscle connection stops and all of these muscles shut off. So what do we want to do? We actually want to turn these muscles on. So I'm going to take you through what I love to do often for my own core program to make sure that my trunk and spine is stabilized. One of the things that you need to remember about muscles is that muscles move bones and muscles stabilize joints. And they only do that when they're actually starting to come into a shortened state. That's how they work. That's how muscles work. So what I'd like you to do is just, if you haven't already, come to a comfortable seated position. And we're going to just start off with a very simple breathing exercise, and then we're going to quickly move into our core program. So bring the arms out to the sides, and you're going to inhale. Bring the arms, reach up to the sky. Reach up as much as you can, and then exhale, bring the arms down. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to start adding on here. So inhale the arms up. What I want you to do is twist as much as you can to your right and let the arms come out. Reach back with the right hand, reach forward with the left hand. Sitting up erect. Inhale back up. And then the other side. And this is such a great practice to awaken the rotator muscles. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale up. And exhale. Broaden through the collarbones. Reach back with the right hand, reach forward with the left. Inhale, the arms reach up. Full breath in, and then exhale. Twist to the left, reach back with the left, reach forward with the right. Inhale up. Now this time exhale the arms down to the sides. Bring the hands to the shoulders. Lift the elbows a bit. lift up through the chest. So the opposite of lifting through the chest would be to collapse like this. So keep lifting up through the chest, twist to your right. Now as you twist to your right, push through the heels of your feet to anchor the hip bones so the hips don't move with you as you do this. Come back to center and exhale to the right. Now this particular pose actually targets the anterior oblique muscles, both internal and external, and actually starts to turn them on. Inhale back to center and exhale. Inhale back to center and exhale to the right. Push through the heels of the feet, anchor the hip bones, squeeze the hips into the midline. Inhale back to center and exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center and exhale, twist to your right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, relax the arms down. Take the hands to the knees and just sitting up well for a moment. I want you to just notice how or if your body has changed, the sensations of your body has changed. You might have noticed some stiffness when we started. Notice that as we've started to do these exercises, that there's a little bit more ease of movement. And really, all that we've done is reconnected the brain to the muscles. One of the things about yoga is that yoga is all about connection. We're connecting dots within ourselves, and we're connecting literally the brain to the muscles. We often hear about this mind-body connection, and that's good. There's a conscious connection, but at a neuromuscular level, what we're really doing in these poses is connecting the brain to the muscle. The brain goes, oh yeah, that's where the muscle is. Bring the hands back to the shoulders, lift up, exhale, twist to the left. You might notice that there's a little bit of stiffness this side. Let's see if we can work it through as we do this. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Lift up through the chest, push through the heels of the feet, twist to the left. Come back to center. And exhale, twist to the left. Come back to center, inhale, lift up through the chest, push through the heels of the feet, exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come back to center. And lift up through the heart, exhale, twist to the left. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to notice some movement, some connection, that my oblique muscles are able to contract in a better way. They're stronger. Inhale, come back. Obliques are so important for stabilizing the trunk and spine. Exhale, twist. So many shoulder problems are a result of the obliques not working properly. So you can do a lot of these abdominal routines to get bigger, more defined obliques, but unless, inhale, come back to center, last one, exhale, twist to the left. Unless the obliques are connected to the brain and are able to contract and contract on demand, then you can have the nicest obliques you want, but they're not doing anything to stabilize your trunk and spine and ultimately stabilize your life. Come back to center. Exhale, release the hands down. Take a breath in and exhale. Good. Cross your arms like this. Just bring your hands to your elbows. What you're going to do is we're going to bring our right shoulder now to the right hip bone. Now I want you to squeeze through the right side of your body as best as you can. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, squeeze the right shoulder to the right hip bone. Come back to center. And exhale, squeeze the right shoulder to the right hip bone. Can you guess what we're doing here? We're actually getting into what's called the lateral obliques right now. So we're trying to target the lateral obliques, specifically the lateral internal obliques, but we're definitely going to be affecting the lateral external obliques a little bit. And then bring the right shoulder back down to the right hip bone. Squeeze it. Turn the corners of your mouth upwards. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, come back over. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, relax the hands to the knees. One of the beautiful things about being in Costa Rica is waking up with the birds and the sounds of nature. So as you hear the sounds of nature, take it in. Recross the arms. If you want to do it the opposite way, you can. Lift it through the chest and then bring the left shoulder to the left hip bone. So really squeeze there. Now, one of the things in a lot of yoga practices, they're always saying is feel the stretch through the side of the body. We don't worry about that. I want you to focus more on the squeezing aspect. Inhale, come back up. Now, if the elongation or the stretch happens, that's completely fine, but I don't want you to make that the intention or the purpose. The purpose is to really engage these muscles, to get them to start contracting and contracting on demand. Bring the left shoulder to the left hip. Beautiful. Turn the corners of your mouth upwards. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, come back over. So much pain in the body happens as a result of a loss of muscle function. If we get those muscles working properly, then they support the joints. Come back up, inhale. And exhale, come back over. If they support the joints properly, there's no more stress or trauma placed on the joints, and there's no more inflammation. A lot of times, inhale, come back up. Lift up through the heart, exhale, come back over. A lot of times in muscle activation practices, we see that people's pain immediately goes away, which is really the result of the inflammation going away because the joints become supported. Inhale, come back up. Do it one more time. Lift up through the chest. Exhale, come over. Squeeze the left shoulder to the left hip bone. I don't know about you, but I'm noticing that I'm getting, or feeling anyways, a little bit more range of motion. And then inhale back up. Beautiful. Exhale, relax the hands down. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Very good. So let's come onto all fours. And from here, you're going to inhale and exhale and just come into downward facing dog. This is one of my favorite practices to get the transverse abdominis working. So you're going to inhale, come to plank pose. Now let the hips dip. Don't let them dip down like a lot. Okay, we're not doing upward dog, but we just want them to dip a little bit. A lot of people tend to do this in plank. They stick their hips up. So try and find neutral if you can. If you can't, use a mirror, but let your hips dip just a little bit below neutral. And you're going to feel this in your core. Squeeze the navel to the spine, and then exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Then from there, inhale, come to plank pose. Let the hips again dip a little bit. Energize the inner legs up. Squeeze the navel to the spine. See if you can squeeze the sides of the belly to the midline. Exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come to plank pose. Now squeeze your glutes a little bit just for fun. Push back through the heels. Take the navel into the spine. Let your hips dip a little bit. Exhale, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, you ready for a little bit of fun now? I'm going to bring the left hand a little bit to center. Pivot the heels to the left. Bring your right hand to the right ribs. Now I want you to lift the ribs up. You're going to feel this on the left side here. You're going to feel those oblique muscles really contracting. And then exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Let's do that the same side 2 more times. Inhale, come to plank. Pause there for a moment. Lift through the heart, navel to spine, let the hips dip. Bring the left hand to the center. Pivot the heels to the left. Bring the right hand to the ribs, lift it up. Now if you can, open the heart a little bit, but keep lifting those ribs up. Oh yes, and then let the right hand come down and come into downward facing dog. Inhale, come to plank, let the hips dip a little bit. Squeeze the navel to the spine. Oh yes, left hand to center. Pivot the heels to the left. Bring the right hand to the right ribs. Lift it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then come back over. Beautiful. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Let's do it again, but this time the other side. So come into plank. Let the hips dip a little bit, navel to spine. Bring the right hand to the center. Pivot the heels to the right. Lift up the chest. Bring the left hand to the left ribs. Now lift the left ribs up towards the sky. Press them into the hand. Open the heart if you want. And then come back into downward facing dog. Very nice. Inhale, come to plank. Let the hips dip a little bit. Navel to spine. Right hand to the center. Pivot the heels to the right. Lift up through the heart. Left hand to the ribs. Lift those ribs up. Lift them up. And then come back over into downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale into plank. Let the hips dip a little bit. Navel to spine. Bring the right hand to center. Heels over to the right. Left hand to ribs. Lift the ribs up. And then come back into downward facing dog. Now, if you're at home doing this with me, your tendency at this moment is to go into child's pose. Don't do that. Come onto your knees and then slide over and come onto your back. We're going to finish up with a couple more things. Don't go into child's pose. Child's pose will passively shut down all the muscles in your core. It's actually one of the worst postures you can do because it shuts down so many muscles. You come out of it debilitated. So don't do child's pose. But do come onto your back. This is a great pose to do if you need to relax at any time. Practice Shavasana. Okay? So bring your legs out. Now, we're talking about the core here. This is actually one of my favorite practices to activate the core. It's very simple. We get into the rectus abdominis here. We also get into the hip flexors, which actually correlate a lot to the core muscles. So what I want you to do is to bring the knees up. Bring the knees level with the hips. Bring the hands to your knees. You're going to place the heel of your hand just above the patella, above the kneecap. And you're going to press into your hands. Now you're not using your hands to press into the knees. You're pressing the knees into the hands. And hold for 3, 4, 5, 6. Now from here, bring the legs straight. I'm sorry. Let the legs come down. We're just going to do this exercise first. And then do it again. Bring the knees up. Push the kneecaps into the hands. And hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you guys feel that in your core? So this is such a great, simple hack that activates a lot of muscles at once. Activates the hip flexors, the trunk flexors, the core muscles. Do it again. If you ever need to create stability really quickly in your body, do this pose. It just gets into so many muscles. Press a little bit more, and then straighten the legs and relax. Good. Do it again. And then relax. Do it again. And then relax. And one last time, bring the knees up. Push the kneecaps into the heels of the hands and press it. See if you can actually pull the pubic bone slightly towards the belly button. And then relax. Very good. Okay, so from here, bring your arms out to the sides. This is going to be the last thing that we do. You're going to bring your knees into your chest. Now squeeze the knees in. This is going to get into the rectus abdominis. It's going to get into a little bit of TVA. And we're also going to get into the hip flexors. So you're going to squeeze in and then start to straighten the legs. Let the legs hover over the ground to about 6 inches. And then bring the knees back in. Pull the knees in. And then let the legs hover over the ground about 2 to 6 inches. Let's see if you can firm the thighs here. Very nice. Pull the knees back into the chest. There you go. Now as you pull the knees in, see if you can actually pull the pubic bone up towards the navel. So find your pubic bone with your mind's eye and lift it up. And then straighten the legs. Really firm the thighs as much as you can here. Firm them, engage them. Oh, nice. You guys are going to be so strong after this. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you did this every morning? Bring the knees into your chest. Pull the pubic bone up towards the navel. And then start to straighten the legs. Very nice. Let the legs hover over the ground 2 to 6 inches. Good. Pull the navel into the spine. And again, bring the knees into the chest as much as you can. This is such a great pose to do for so many reasons. If you're going for a walk or a hike, if you're going to work out at the gym, especially on leg day. And then start to straighten the legs. Good. Pull the navel in. Pull the pubic bone up a little bit. Good. And then bring the knees into the chest. Ooh, this is going to be the last one. Pull, pull, pull. I know you want to hug the knees, but don't. Just pull the knees towards you. And then start to straighten the legs. Very good. Firm the thighs as much as you can. Push to the heels of the feet. Pull the leg bones into the hip sockets. Let the legs really firm up and then exhale. Let the legs come down. Oh my goddess. Take 3 breaths here before you do anything. If you want to, place your hands on your belly button and breathe into your hands. It's a very good way to start practicing diaphragmatic breathing. Very nice. You can stay here as long as you like and then come up when you're ready so that you can go back out into your day and enjoy. As I said earlier, imagine what your life would be like if you did this every day. In my teacher trainings, we focus a lot on teaching these AYAMA techniques. In every training, by day 6 to day 10, everybody becomes pain-free. Why do they become pain-free? Because they're starting to use their muscles correctly. When we use our muscles and we start to activate them, the muscles then turn around and are able to support the joints of the body, to support the structure of the body, and that reduces stress, which then reduces inflammation, which then reduces pain. So be committed to taking care of this vessel, because ultimately it's all about having the best body that you possibly can so that you can go out, manifest, and live your life purpose. Have a super wonderful day, my friends.